this. Today I have the honour of talking with my good friend and soul sister, Miriam, who has been a servant of Spirit and of God for over 60 years, and someone who has touched the lives of so many people as a beacon of hope, love and light.
Right.
Now, I've got that right with the 60 years, haven't I?
You what?
You've been working as Spirit and with God and around Divine Spirit for 60 years?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Oh, yes, longer than that.
Yes. So how long have you been doing it? How long have you been... How
Well,
long?
I'm 19 July, and I've been working since I'm 18.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
For 72 years.
Oh my gosh.
A long time, isn't it?
It's a long time. So people listening to this will be amazed at that, of course. And they're going to, you know, I mean, obviously you're coming up on 90 years old in July, your big birthday. And yeah, okay. Well, there are very few people, I think, that serve Spirit for so long. One. So my question that people would like to hear is, when did you first become aware of Spirit and the presence of God?
Well, to be honest with you, my mother told me that at the age of 2, I was an old soul because a friend of hers came to my mother's house, and she was upset, and she was crying to my mother, and my mother was telling me this. I can't remember it, but she said, I was born with a gift. And apparently she said that I took over the lady's skirt or dress, whatever she had on, and I put my hand and shook it like that, and I said, don't cry, lovely lady. I said, a lady comes to see you tomorrow and bring you flowers. Now, she hadn't seen her daughter for years. It'd fallen out. And the next day, the daughter came and knocked on the door and brought a bunch of flowers.
Oh.
So since the age of 2, I've been in it, really. It's 88 years, isn't it?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Okay. Well, I think a lot of people listening to this can relate to that, because a lot of people have their gift or their eye of this being open from very young. And I think actually that's true. Okay. I love that. I mean, I'm still getting over, you know, the length of time, because it's amazing. All right. And because you still have the church, and you still have divine service, and you
still working,
Yes. Okay. Okay, so my next question is, at the time, did you know this was going to be a calling for the remainder of your time on the earth all this time? Did you have any idea when you were young that it was going to be such a journey?
Did I know how long I got on this earth?
No, how long you were going to be serving, and did you know that you were going to walk the path of God and work with mediumship?
Yes, I knew.
Ah, yes. And you knew...
I knew, because when I was in school, apparently, the time I started school until the time I left at 15, went to a secondary school, I used to take a Bible reading. I used to sit on the platform with the teachers, and I used to read the Bible, portions of scripture every morning in school.
Oh my gosh, that's obviously that's amazing as well.
Yes.
So to say this is a soul's journey is, I think a lot of people would understand that. Certainly they're stepping forward in their path, because this is designed to inspire others to want to, you know, perhaps walk a similar path, or they'll walk their own path, but they hopefully will want to do that. Okay, all right.
It's been a long, hard road, mind.
Yeah, yes.
A very long, hard road, but still, what don't kill you makes you stronger. And my faith has been so strong in my God all my life.
Yes.
And I've never retaliated in my life. I haven't got a temper. Never retaliated in my life.
That's excellent. Yes, because your faith is the paramount thing that you feel. I mean, obviously, when we're down at the church and around particularly around that energy in yourself, it's very, it's permeable. I mean, it's palatable. Well, this is a wonderful thing. I think a lot of people would want to aspire to that depth of feeling. Now, I've got another question. At what point did you begin serving, and when did you begin serving? When did you open your church? What sort of happened at the beginning then?
What happens after I've gone, you mean?
No, after you began serving and when you opened the church, your church. So how did it
Well,
start?
I'm the presidency over now to Gareth,
Yes.
and I'm the vice president.
Yes.
But I've told him all the ifs and buts. We don't have any committee meetings. It's like one happy family there.
That's beautiful.
And I've always run it purely as a church.
Yes.
There's no bringing buys, no selling things or having jumble sales there. And my God's been good to us because the church has been transformed so much. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely stunning.
It is beautiful, I have to say that. And so,
Yeah.
when did it open? When did it actually open its doors, the church?
Well, the church has been standing for 100 years.
Yeah. That's it.
And the unemployed built it.
Yeah, that's
The
remarkable.
unemployed built that building, yeah.
Yeah. And then
And every speaker that comes to the church, they tell me, we got one coming from Swindon. He comes down 3 times a year. He comes down and goes back the same day. And he's like, go everywhere, Miriam, he said. And he said, there's no church like yours. It's wonderful.
That's true. That's actually very true. And I have to say that, obviously having moved ourselves, it's the one thing that remains in my heart is your church
I know
is
that.
remarkable. Yeah. Oh yes, I can't say anything different. I definitely feel that. And okay, so then the next question is, now you said that life had been difficult, yes, and you've had some hard times, and you've maintained your stalwart and robust, your faith, your strength during those times. But you've been through all sorts, haven't you, and still remain strong to it, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Could you tell us an example of something that you've got through that, you felt that you turned to, the face of God and said, this is it, I can handle this, but it's really hard?
Well, I put it this way. I am done it on my own. My God has done it for me. Because my faith is so strong in him and our Lord that he never let me down. Never.
No, I can understand. I can understand that myself. So I
was in church. I was in a church one night, a local church. I wasn't taking the service, and this medium came to me, and I could see him. He went ice cold. He said, "I've never seen this in my life," and he was a very, very good medium. And he couldn't talk to me. He kept on staring at me. I got to come to you, he said, sister. He said, and we just walked in. He said, there's someone on the side of you. I said, no. He said, Moses.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful.
of course, Miriam was his sister, you see.
Yes. That's
yeah.
That's extraordinary and beautiful.
And
yeah, of course.
Mm.
Okay, now we have those experiences, and I'm not going to go into experiences I've seen and felt and everything else, but I think anybody that's walking this path, when they truly immerse themselves and they stay true to the principles and they don't perhaps drop below a certain value of that, then yes, these things happen and they're miraculous. So I'm going to say that, yeah. And these things are beautiful. Okay, I understand that. Now, you have been, if you like, an exemplification of faith and mediumship and all these good things, yeah. And you are somewhat gifted in that area in terms of how the faith, the channel, the divine comes through you. But obviously you've had an impact on other people. So I'm going to ask, are you aware that you've had an impact on other mediums, other channels, other healers, other people of faith? I know you've had it on me because that's for certain, but yes, can you recall anything like that?
Like what now?
How you've
passing it on to other people?
Yes, how you've helped others, like Gareth.
Oh yes, because a lot of people are coming for the first time. They say to me, you're a woman of inspiration. I said, what do you mean? I haven't said that. I've only just been talking to them like the first night that you came in. And the feeling I had with you and your family, I thought, oh my gosh, I've had such a strong bond. It's unbelievable, you said that you was my sister or my well, someone very close to me. Strange, isn't it? You know.
Well, I feel the
But,
same. Yeah, definitely feel the
and you
same.
felt the same.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
most certainly. I have entirely, even when I don't speak to you, I feel like I'm in correspondence with you on another level.
That's right.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And I know that you know, even that I was delayed this evening, I knew you would know that I was delayed.
Yeah.
I just know that you know, and that's a wonderful thing in life, actually, because that connection you can't have or don't have lots of times. You have them sometimes, occasionally. Yeah. Okay, I love that. All right, so you've had a positive impact. Well, I know that, and I'll say that for you. Now you connect to spirit daily. Yes, you always stay in connection. You
Do I
pray.
connect to spirit daily?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, with God, and you pray to God every day.
Every day, every night and every morning.
That's wonderful. And I know you do, but you feel the presence and the power of your prayer and the respective feeling. I'd like to touch on that because I think a lot of people would do well to pray and understand that there's something more divine, more that God is there for them, that our Father God is there, and perhaps you could just touch on your prayers, because I remember people are listening to this, so it'd be nice for you just to share your prayers and your thoughts around that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, prayer is a very powerful thing.
Yes.
Very powerful.
Yes.
And I say every day, and I mean, I've had a lot of experience in my life, physical and mental.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my God that kept my sanity and my grace. And I say my prayers every night and every morning. I say, well, dear Father, thank you for bringing me to this dawning of another day. Guide my thoughts, inspire my mind, tell me this day what I should do. I know he doesn't interfere with free will. And you sit quietly then, and it all comes to you.
That's right.
And after saying my prayers in the night, I see the most wonderful faces. I've never seen anything like it in life. Wonderful.
Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Yes. Now I know that you've had experiences, and that you yourself have had awarenesses and visions of God and wonderful, inspiring things. Would you like to share a little bit of that? Because I know that other people have, but they don't always volunteer. But would you like to share a little bit of that? Yeah. I know that you've seen.
One of the most wonderful experiences I've had in my life, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through a very, very bad time. My daughter now, she's 68 now, and she was only 5. Now, I was going through a bad time then, my first marriage, because he had better women. And I was so physically and mentally drained. And I did say this particular night. I know it's an awful thing to say, but I can speak the truth. And I said, oh, dear Father, I can't take much more. And there's only 12 months between my daughter and my son. He's 67 now. And all of a sudden, after saying them words, I went through this, like a bit of a tunnel, but it wasn't dark. And right at the end, it was a brilliant light. And it stayed in me all my life, this house. And anyway, when I came to, I can see it now. I was in this upper room, and there was a wooden table in the room, and I said, it wasn't polished, it wasn't scrubbed, an old-fashioned table, and there was goblets on it, earthenware, and an earthenware jug, and there was these men sitting around, and I said to one, I said, Simon called Peter? Yes, he said. I said, Andrew, his brother? Yes, he said. I said, James, son of Zebedee, and John, his brother? That's right. Went around all of them. But Judas Iscariot wasn't there. So he told me to sit down. And with that then, Peter took hold of my hand, Simon Peter, and he put me to stand up. And say about 4 feet away from where I was standing, on the wall came a mirror. It wasn't there before, but this mirror came. I could see in the shops and he's trying something on. And I looked in the mirror and I was wearing my hair at that time, shoulder length. And all of a sudden I said to him, that's not me. I had no eye makeup on, no makeup on. My skin was a garlic plaster. I had a long white robe on and sandals that they wore in them days on my feet. He said, that's the real you, my child. That's your spirit. He turned me around then, and about 3 foot away, this brilliant light came from above, and out of this beautiful blue mauve light walked the master.
Oh my gosh.
And he had the most wonderful face.
Oh yes, I can
His
feel.
his hair was shoulder length,
Uh-huh.
like an olive colour complexion, beautiful eyes and teeth. And I was begging him. And I said, please, I said, please may I stay? And you know what he said to me? In a quiet voice, but with authority, a gentle voice. My child, the time has not yet come. Go back and feed my flock. You know, Christina, I was so overwhelmed. Nothing could touch me after that. I was on my knees for 6 weeks after, every morning, every night, thanking him for what he had done. He gave me a hope. He gave me the strength and the determination that nothing else mattered only to me, only him. And that's what has stayed with me all my life.
Yes, that's
Most wonderful thing I've ever seen.
Well, yes. And even though we're listening to this and we're listening to your voice, and I know there's mediums, that's a very strong place to feel the things that come through that energy. But I can actually feel that myself. We're all here listening in awe. It's a beautiful and reverent thing. And even with our own, namesake, Christ, Christina, my name, I am well aware that I'm a follower of and have been all my life. So I can understand that deeply. In fact,
yes, I can understand that.
Yeah, I can feel quite moved by that. I mean, they have no idea why they named me that, but I do. This is beautiful. Miriam, this is actually gorgeous. Now, I know you shared some of this with us when we were down with you in person, and it's just as extraordinary listening to it again as it was, the time that you shared it with us. Now, I know that these things are going to go to the places they need to go. So this will be recorded. Other people will listen to it. They will take away aspects of this, and then they will, take that in their heart and in their soul into their divinity and whatever they so believe in that space. But that's what this is about. Okay.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
This is very nice. This is very, very nice. Okay. All right. Now, when you're serving and you're working with the mediumship aspect, so now we're bringing through loved ones in spirit, we're communicating with spirit. There are aspects of that we share as mediums that other people take away. Perhaps they've had a physical phenomena, as you shared recently, and perhaps they've had other experiences with that connection. But would you like to share a couple of the ones that you remember that are memorable? Because in this wonderful place, it's not us, it is definitely God, and we're serving
Regarding
spirit.
my work with spirit, you mean?
Yes, please, yes.
Yeah, well, I give you another extraordinary thing. I went to Gloucester to work. I'd never been to this church before, and my friend lived in Gloucester, and she was a big spirit to live. And my husband was a good healer. And apparently I went in last minute and introduced me. It was packed there, about 70 people there. And they introduced me, and I'd never been there before. And so anyway, I was in full trance. I don't remember nothing. But when the service was over, standing in front of the pulpit, there was all these people waiting for me to come off the pulpit and shake me by the hand. And I thought, what are they doing? This man came on to me. I didn't understand him properly because he was foreign. And he said, he was nearly crying. I said, are you all right? I said, my friend. And he just couldn't talk. But apparently my friend was telling me after that I'm the president of that church. But my guide turned around and said to him, she came and said that there's a gentleman with him. My friend was telling me this, I wrote it down. That a friend of his was in the Word of Spirit, and my guide gave him his friend's name. I mean, he's Polish. And when his friend came, he called this man by his name, Jan. So my friend said, she said the people just couldn't get over it. So anyway, she turned it around and she said to him, if you were to take your jacket off, she said, and roll his sleeve up, she gave him 4 numbers on his arm. His friend had gone to the gas chamber and he had escaped, managed to get out. His friend had gone. And she told him that he had a watch in his pocket that hadn't gone from that day to this. She told him to take it out now. And as he took it out, it started to tick. My friend said, Miriam, she said, it was the talk of Gloucester. It's fantastic. I don't remember nothing. But that's the way that it works in me, you see.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, I understand. I really do. These are remarkable and poignant, extraordinary things happen when you work with spirit. And yes,
it does.
It does. It absolutely does. There are things that are just unfathomable on one level, but remarkable and beautiful on another. Now, I love that story. For me, that is the epitome of serving spirit and healing and helping and serving that space that we, is reverent. Gosh, I'm like, these stories are fabulous. Okay, now, I wanted you to give some advice for the mediums of tomorrow, the ones coming through, perhaps the younger people who want to serve, perhaps they want to find they're on their journey. What advice would you give somebody that was walking this path?
Oh, it all depends, you see. There's so many going around now that are not fully developed and they're working from the psychic level.
True.
But that's not good enough, you see. It's even a spiritual level. And it's only a philosophy that people get taught a lot, but there's not enough of that going about. So when I went up to Newcastle, I done 10 days, and I worked for 8 days out of 10. And the people up there said to me, I had a hostess that put me up, and she was lovely, and her husband, they were big spiritualists. And the people come on to me and said, there's no teachings going on anymore, and there's lots of young people there. And it's very, very sad. Because some people think they can sit for development for 3 months, and that's it.
That's true, they do.
But it takes a long time.
That's right. Yes.
But the difference was, you see, I was born with a gift, so I was very fortunate.
Yeah.
Very fortunate.
Yes. I feel, and I am, I have opinions, I suppose, but they are just my opinions, but I do agree that there are many people perhaps that sit more in the psychic realm than they do the true mediumistic depth of experience, and perhaps they don't practice enough of their time in, I will say, the God, and in that divinity and in that light. So yes, I can understand that. But if they could, they would walk on an amazing path as you have through your life, because quite frankly it is remarkable, and there must be so many stories that maybe we should catch up again and hear some more. You did mention that actually I would like to ask you this question: how do you feel that you will be remembered as a servant of spirit? Do you think in the future that people will have been touched by the experiences you've had? I'm sure you do, but I mean, from your point of view, do you feel that has translated?
In which way now do you mean? How do I see? What, in which way do you mean?
Oh, well, I mean, obviously you've been serving longer than I thought, 73 years, and you've been doing all of this over this time, and you've had hundreds, if not thousands, of people that you've had around, their experience with you, or your faith, your abilities, their experiences with you. Do you think that they were being, from your point of view, do you feel that they have been touched by your experience? Because I remember when you were in the church, you said to me somebody came back many years later and they thanked you for their communication with spirit, with their loved ones, and they came back to you. I recall that now I'm talking to you. So that's the sort of thing I mean.
Well, if people, new people are coming to the church now, and they can't wait for the following Sunday to come. And then they're just talking to them normal, like,
Yes.
And they tell them what it's experiences, and they just sit there and they said, oh, I wish you didn't have to go home. And they can't wait for the following Sunday. But I mean, I'm not taking the service, I'm just speaking after the service. Because when someone comes in that's new, I go on and say, well, welcome friends, welcome to our church, where you're from, I take an interest in everybody. So, but it all depends, you see. I mean, like I said last Sunday, the speaker couldn't turn up last week, coming from Swindon, and because of the 2 places were closed, and he was caught up in a traffic jam. And a wonderful worker from Swindon. And, he was so disappointed. So I had to fill the breach. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not prepared. I never prepared my service, but I thought, I normally go to the silence on a Sunday afternoon. But, there's so much phone calls to make for different speakers and things like that for next year that I just flew. And I had to take the service. I said, oh, dear Father, please, I said, I know you'll never leave me down. So I was so nervous, even after all this time. Because, you see, if I wasn't nervous, I would take that word for granted, which I don't. Because I know that God interferes with my free will. So before I know I'm taking the service, I always say, dear Father, I surrender my free will. If your will is like as to be used, then so be it. And that's where I live my life.
I love that.
But I'd worked many years this last month doing new windows and doors. And I opened the door this one particular morning. And this young man was there, another one with him. And he kept on staring at me, and I said, they're coming in. I said, lovely fellas. I said, a cup of coffee. They never answered me, the one didn't. And the other one said, oh, I'd love that, thank you, as he came in. And I said to the other one, are you all right? I said to him, oh my gosh, alive, he said, you're my wife. He's a young man in his 40s. I beg your pardon, I said to him. I knew what had happened. His wife had transfigured on my face. He said, you know something, he said? You're my wife, he said. I said, you are in spirit, isn't she? Yes, he said, she is. But you are her? I said, no, lovey, I said. Your wife has shown herself on me for your sake. my God. You know, we didn't want to go.
No.
We was here all day. Another time then, I went to this dentist. My friend had recommended him. And I went in, and him and his wife was both dentists. And when I went in, I hadn't been there before. And I thought, well, why don't you ask me to take my coat off and sit down? He kept on staring at me. And I thought, well, in my mind, isn't he rude? I didn't know what he was staring at. And I said, are you okay? I said, and with that, his wife walked in. Oh my gosh, alive. Can you see what I see? She said. He said, yes. He said, you my mother? His mother had shown herself on my face. They're the same height. And this young boy said the same about me. Same sort of clothes. And after he finished with me, I said, your mother's spirit? Yes, he said. Well, your mother's telling me to tell you that you're thinking of it, you're going, not thinking, you are going to emigrate to Australia in the next month to 6 weeks. Oh my gosh, alive, he said. He said, you're right. Now see how it works.
Yes.
I've seen you walking along the road. A friend of mine from Gloucester, she came down on holiday. And there were some people living in doorways, and I always go on to them, like, you know. And they were going there for, and I said, I'm going to speak to them. For goodness sake, stop it here. I said, no, to them, I'm going in. I said. So before that, I was walking along with her. I couldn't see myself walking. As if I was not on the ground, but there was above it, levitating. And it was gliding along. And then this sort of things that I have, the experience I have. It's absolutely amazing. So you see, with a penny in my pocket, I class myself as being blessed
Yes.
and rich. Because money can't buy these things, can they?
That's correct. I agree absolutely. I know that I walk the path myself. I've had experiences. I know a lot of people whom are perhaps more reverent to the higher aspects of work will understand an awful lot of this. We've had some remarkable things happen this week, including somebody that's found us after 25, it's a long time, 25 years, and Spirit has brought this man back to us through a whole bunch of incredible serendipities. And he has lost his wife, and we didn't even know in this interim. And the minute we connected, we knew that Spirit had brought him back for his wife and for a whole wonderful myriad of other things. He'd lost his best friend, but Spirit did it. We didn't do it. I didn't do it. And these things come to us in that magical and beautiful way that they should, and then allow us to self-express that. This is wonderful, Miriam. You know.
But you see, just because you saw the good work you're doing, you see. I knew that in any case. But when I knew them that he's gone to live abroad, I thought, and I said to my sister, I said, it's like parting me gone with a strange, isn't it?
Yes, and vice versa. And
yeah.
I wanted to keep in touch, and I knew that I should, and I felt that last week. I really felt that connection again, and I just,
You're often in my thoughts, mind.
Yes.
And your husband and lovely son. How is his son, all right?
He's fabulous. He's working for Spirit beautifully himself, and he's become a wonderful worker for Spirit, very dedicated to living the life. We all pray, we all stay true to the faith, we all believe this, we have the faith. That's one thing I would say. My son, even though younger, is staying true to the principles and working at a higher level of consciousness.
That's wonderful.
Yes. I have a church of our own that's been running since the pandemic, although it's online, it's very successful. It only adheres to the principles of divine worship and church, so it is a Christian spiritualist church. We
You
never.
got churches out there, have you?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, right.
And so we stay true to that. I've been running it every Sunday, and I run other things that are true to that. It never lowers beneath anything, actually, because, as I said, I do exactly what you do. I just trust the Spirit, and I literally trust the Spirit, and I serve a lot of places still, and so does Liam, my son.
Wonderful.
He does absolutely beautiful work, I must say. I deepen that, and as I go through my journey, I have experiences they're profound, and they're amazing, they're extraordinary, and other people tell me this, and we share this experience, but it's not us. I always say that it's never us. It's just never. I won't ever claim to have that. I suppose I'm just humbled to the thing, really. But I know people are not. This has been a beautiful experience. I was tired. I've had a strange old day, and I just wanted to do this. And actually, Nick and Liam were egging me on. They were saying, "Come on, no, you know you're tired, but this is what we've got to do." And my husband set up this amazing little configuration so that I could record and enjoy this, and so that you could hear me clearly as well, and so that we could use the technology our end so we could capture your stories and all these beautiful messages in those stories that people should understand a little bit perhaps deeper. Oh, Miriam, I'm going to catch up with you again. I'm going to edit this up. I don't know how you're going to hear it, but I could get, it's Kevin, isn't it? Your chairperson.
You are?
I could get Kevin's your gentleman who does the money, isn't he? Yeah, does all the church funds and everything. Kevin Dix, is that? Yeah. Is Kevin doesn't he take the money and help people with the church and do all of the monies for them to travel and everything else?
I don't know what you're saying. Say it again.
Yes, I'll get this to you. Don't worry. I'll work that out. But I'm going to ring you again, and it won't go so long. And
okay, let me tell you one thing. Now you're going to go a long way.
Yes.
And you said well.
Thank you so much. And that means more.
You go a long way, and don't ever change for anybody.
No.
You stay as you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. More than well, actually, I know that you know what I mean, and I feel that in my heart, and you can hear that in my voice, but I feel that in the deepest part of me.
Yes, I know that, lovely.
Yeah.
All right, lovely. So take care now.
And you.
And have a lovely week, and have a lovely Easter as well. Okay?
Oh yes, we're going to enjoy Easter. We're going to the traditional churches here. Their Easter is magnificent. They're Christian biased. Churches are incredible anyway, but their services are beautiful. So we will be spending some time around the more sacred elements of that. But you are...
All right then, love you. Take care. Look after yourselves.
And you. And I'm going to say good night, God bless. And
God bless, lovely.
Yeah, of course. Take care. Bye for now.